It is official. Emilia Perez's Oscar chances are officially dead, and there are a lot of movies that are going to benefit from that. And essentially, for those who have been living under a rock, one, congratulations for not hearing any of this controversy. But essentially, what has happened over the past, really, it feels like a week. Emilia Perez's star, Karla Sofia Gascon, had a history of pretty vile tweets ranging from Islamophobic, racist, COVID denying, transphobic. She even apparently attacked her own co-star Selena Gomez in 2022 on Twitter. This after months of negative press that's been surrounding Emilia Perez and criticisms of the film's problematic stereotypes. It just seems to have broken the camel's back. And it's a bad fallout. Karla Sofia Gascon has left social media, and it really is just leaving an even worse taste in everyone's mouth. And I think it is fair to say that this now feels like the end of Emilia Perez's Oscar chances. And being a film nominated for 13 Oscars, its demise cannot be understated. Therefore, I wanted to talk about who will benefit from Emilia Perez's downfall, as well as if there are any paths for this film to have a moment of redemption come March 2nd. And I came up with 5 major winners and implications for this award season that I wanted to discuss today. So let's just start with the most obvious one. Karla Sofia Gascon has torpedoed any chance she has to win Best Actress. Now, to be honest, I never thought she was going to win this award, but this basically puts her as close to zero as you can get. This is such a bad controversy, and the fact that she has tweets about the Oscars, the fact that she has a tweet about Selena Gomez from 2022, that is all going to play very bad. And this is a publicity award. You want to have good press surrounding you, and she will not have that. And she's now burned enough bridges in Hollywood, and just there's no one who is going to want to put her front and center on a stage. This is a moment, and they want to at least anoint someone that they believe deserving of the moment. She is falling so far behind of that. She may be fit to be in Trump's White House, to be honest, but she is not fit to be on the stage in Hollywood's eyes. What does this mean, though? And the implication of this, and I think some of you may like this, is Karla Sofia Gascon's, her voters, the people who were championing this film, and especially her nomination, I think they're going to disperse. And I think you might have a lot of these international voters going to another film that is also international, that is also in this category, which is Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. That's my biggest implication for this category, is I think this benefits Fernanda Torres a lot. And let's just kind of get one thing out of it. There has been a controversy with Fernanda Torres that has now just been basically all but erased due to this Emilia Perez disaster that's been the past week. But essentially, a clip came out of Fernanda Torres in blackface for I think it was a TV show in Brazil. It was in pretty disgusting, poor taste. She apologized for it. It looked pretty bad. And to be honest, now it's just been all but forgotten after this past week of headlines for Emilia Perez. This came out at a really good time for Fernanda Torres for that heat to be brought off her. But let's just look at it. Right now, I think it is fair to say that a lot of people are predicting the front runner of this category to be Demi Moore for the substance. And I now suspect Fernanda Torres is right behind her. And if the international voters can consolidate behind Torres, I'm Still Here could be the movie that could. And by that, I mean that this might be the movie that's actually battling with Demi Moore. I don't know if we were saying that a few weeks ago. Keep an eye out for that. Which brings us to number 4, which before I say my number 4, I just want to say, if you're liking this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You don't know how much it helps me out and allows me to see movies early. But focusing in on number 4, I have written down Emilia Perez has real competition now and is no longer the sure thing to win Best International Feature Film. And guess who benefits? Well, we just talked about the film a moment ago. Yes, it is I'm Still Here. This is now a film that obviously I'm Still Here got a Best Picture nomination and is in the race. And I think everyone thought International Feature was just going to go to Emilia Perez, obviously the most nominated film this year. What if this now all shifts? And again, Emilia Perez is in a little bit of danger. Now, I don't know if this one will happen, but I think the race just got tightened again. And here is my bold prediction. I think I'm Still Here come Oscars night, March 2nd. So I am saying that it is either going to surprise win Best Actress or International Feature. That's where I am at this point. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments. But this story has been very bad and I think beneficial for I'm Still Here. It's really just solidified Emilia Perez as the Oscar villain this year. And that narrative is going to be tough to shake away considering voting will start in 11 days, February 11th. Which brings me to my third point. And we now need to look at the Best Supporting Actress race and Zoe Saldana in this race, who is the clear frontrunner, I believe, for Best Supporting Actress and still may go on to win. And I now think Zoe Saldana is fighting to hold on to her frontrunner status. Voting begins in 11 days. And presumably this is not going to be the last we've heard of Emilia Perez's scandals. I am recording this Friday, January 31st. And I mean, I already saw new headlines forming about an hour before I started recording this. I have a feeling it will go into February. And guess what? You just need to keep hitting the headlines. You need to keep this momentum going. And all of a sudden, Emilia Perez, 11 more days is going to feel like a nightmare for this movie. And the voting for the Academy ends on the 18th. So the real question is going to be, can Emilia Perez be strategically weakened for another 2 weeks? And I think that's where it could hurt someone like Zoe Saldana, who is currently right now really the only star who is really the saving grace of this movie. You know, people were divided on Selena Gomez's performance. Obviously, with the Karla Sofia Gascon, Audio Art has been dealing with some bad headlines recently as well. Zoe Saldana is kind of the only one where everyone kind of universally agrees she's the best part of this movie. Are the bad headlines going to be enough to just basically make everyone a little like numb to Emilia Perez? If that's the case, you know who benefits from it. And I would actually be quite excited if this was the case. Ariana Grande, I believe, is the safe number 2 in this category. And if Zoe Saldana was to lose, I believe she would lose to Ariana Grande, who is also a competitor in a far more standard musical, a musical that was far better received with audiences and, to be honest, with critics as well. That was a financial juggernaut that, you know, takes Ariana Grande and really does something really fun with this performance and is just an easy performance to like. I think this film could really benefit it. I think Ariana Grande could really benefit from this. And that is now, I think, the case to believe that maybe Ariana Grande is more in this race than she seemed about a few weeks ago. Moving on to number 2. This was the one that I actually thought of earlier today and I hadn't considered it. But we're not just talking about the Oscars here. We are also talking about the Screen Actors Guild, which Emilia Perez is nominated for its ensemble. The other 4 films that are nominated are a complete unknown: Wicked, Conclave, and Anora. And now let's just kind of take the cast of Emilia Perez. 1 star beloved in Zoe Saldana, 1 star not nominated for the Oscar in Selena Gomez, and 1 star embedded in controversy. So who benefits? What if we're now just saying, like, you know what, Emilia Perez is not going to take the stage, especially with the Karla Sofia Gascon headlines, with the stuff of Selena Gomez, the tweets about Selena Gomez from Karla Sofia Gascon. Like, it's just going to be so messy. And again, I just don't think they're now going to reward this film with this now having to be a moment. So who benefits? And I now look at a film that had 3 stars nominated for the Oscars, as well as a surprise Best Director nomination. And I look at a film like A Complete Unknown, which has a great cast of people who weren't even nominated. Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash, Elle Fanning. Like, there's a lot of people who went into making this movie. And I'm like, you know what? This kind of feels like a movie that could win SAG. But to be honest, I think there's now a case better for Wicked. I think there's a case better for Anora. I think there's a case better for Conclave even. And you have to now consider the deadlines. And I really want people to focus on these dates. February 7th, SAG voting begins. You're seeing this video February 1st. That means in 7 days, the voting will begin for SAG, and it will close on the 21st. That's a really big deadline coming up that I don't think Emilia Perez is going to be able to fix its bad headlines in 7 days. When this is all about you fighting for publicity, and this is all about you basically earning good graces and having people championing your films because that's what you want. The Oscars is a race of, can we stay in the conversation positively / can we stay in the conversation and have a group of people championing us? I just don't know if that championing is going to continue on with Emilia Perez. And I just want to acknowledge there is a counter argument to all this, which I want to address. I want to address the other side to this, which some of you may be saying, Ben, we are overstating Emilia Perez's death at its chances for Oscars. Maybe they can right a sinking ship. Maybe this isn't as bad as it appears. And I think the path forward for this film having success could be something like the Critics' Choice Awards, which the ceremony is happening on February 7th, streaming on Peacock. Again, February 7th, a key date because the SAG the SAG voting begins on February 7th. So, Critics' Choice Awards ended a few weeks ago. Like the nomination / voting ended a few weeks ago before the worst of this Emilia Perez headlines. So maybe there's a chance Emilia Perez wins and it allows a few of these actors or directors or whoever it is attached to Emilia Perez the ability to get on stage and right the ship right in time for SAG and then right in time for the Oscars. And essentially for the film to rebuild love with the Screen Actors Guild, which is the most powerful guild in the Academy. It has the most voters within the Academy as the actors group. And then, you know what? You rebuild that relationship with SAG, carry that on, SAG Awards. It's going to be streaming on Netflix. Netflix is obviously going to try championing their film. You're going to get Netflix shenanigans. You're going to get last-ditch efforts from Netflix to champion Emilia Perez, make it more accessible to voters, really try to right the ship, especially considering that this award ceremony is being held on their awards or on their streaming service. I think that's the narrative that you can see in favor of Emilia Perez, maybe righting the ship quickly. I'm dubious of this. And the reason I'm dubious of this is Critics' Choice Awards is voted on critics, and it's a very broad one. I don't necessarily think it necessarily represents critics particularly well. It usually goes a little bit more commercial. But Emilia Perez has not been a film for critics. That was never its strength. At best, you could describe it divisive. At worst, it's ridiculed by critics. And it does not have the same accessibility as a film like Crash or Green Book had. Those films, as much as they were largely mocked by a lot of groups, they still had critical fanfare. They still had audiences. There was still a traditional nature to this. I don't think Emilia Perez has that traditionality in it. I don't see a path forward for Emilia Perez doing extraordinary well at the Critics' Choice Awards. Maybe it gets a few, but I don't think Karla Sofia Gascon, for instance, is going to take the stage. I don't maybe Zoe Saldana, maybe this all just comes down to Zoe Saldana righting the ship, but it's not I don't think Audiards, I don't think he's going to win director. This really does feel like a group of people that are going to reward films like Anora, The Brutalist, maybe even The Substance. I don't know. I just don't really see Emilia Perez being one that wins big at the Critics' Choice Awards, which means this whole narrative / defense I just put up, the path forward, if you will, to winning, I don't see it happening, which leaves us with the number one. And this is the big one, Best Picture, which we need to talk about because Emilia Perez is the most nominated film this year with 13 nominations. And I have said it, and I am keeping still to it. I think The Brutalist is going to win Best Picture. But I also will admit I had Emilia Perez probably in my top 3, which meant I thought it was going to get enough votes to be competitive. I didn't think it was going to win, but I thought it was going to be competitive. I think everything that we've seen, the preferential ballots will harm this film now. You're going to have vocal supporters who are championing this film, maybe be a bit quieter about their love of this film. Maybe they feel like this film doesn't need it. And again, with this all being publicity and who gets to take the stage, I just don't know at this moment in time, with everything going on in America, with the divisiveness within America, if you really want Emilia Perez being what Hollywood represents right now. I just don't think that's the image of Hollywood they want to put forth. Now, again, maybe this is just a complete online chatter about this, but it feels like bigger than this. Like, there's been controversies in the past. I don't remember one being this vile, getting this nasty, getting this ridiculed, getting this hated so quick. And I think that's what the struggle is of Emilia Perez. You need people championing your film, especially from the general public, to basically make sure that there is good press around the movie. Think of a film like I'm Still Here, which a lot of people from the country of Brazil are championing that movie and making sure that it is in the conversation. I just don't know how much of that is happening with Emilia Perez. It feels like all the attention is kind of ridicule right now, and I just don't think that's going to benefit its chances of winning. And I feel like a film like Anora, for instance, which I can't find a lot of people who have really bad things to say about it, can benefit. And again, I'm not now saying Anora can win Best Picture, but I am saying that now it's like, maybe it ranks a little higher. Maybe it gets a little bit more votes. Maybe it's a bit more competitive. Maybe a film like I'm Still Here gets some of those international voters in Best Picture. And that's more competitive. And that's where I want to get to end this video. The power rankings of these 10 films. And at this moment, here is how I have it. Coming in at number 10, I have Nickel Boys. Coming in at number 9, I have Dune Part 2. Nickel Boys is a film that only got 2 nominations. I think it was an honor for it to get nominated. I don't necessarily think it's going to get in to win Best Picture, but it certainly impresses and it gave that film a little bit more accessibility. Dune Part 2 underperformed, missing out director. Number 8, The Substance. This might be too low, especially the fact that Farge got the director's nomination, but I just see the Academy struggling with the body horror. I just think this, again, is a win for the nomination. And if Demi Moore wins, like, that's a big moment. Coming in at number 7, I have A Complete Unknown. Coming in at number 6, this is where I have Emilia Perez, which I should just mention Emilia Perez a few weeks ago I had at number 2. Coming in at number 5, I have Conclave. 4 and 3 are basically, I could go either way. Right now I wrote down Wicked at number 4. I'm Still Here, benefiting a ton in Best Picture and getting to number 3. Like, I think there is an international contingency for it. I think this film is strong. I think the fact that it got Best Actress, Best International Film, and Best Picture shows that this film has an audience for it. Number 2, I have Anora, and then number 1, I have The Brutalist. That's my official prediction at this moment. So this is not a fun award season. This is not a fun story, but it's important to talk about this. And we'll be talking about these stories as they come up. If there's any other scandals, if there's any other big stories, I want to be on this channel talking to you about it. So do me a favor, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. You don't know how much it helps me out. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.